Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It is week 15. I can't believe it. We blinked and we're here, and we're talking about this week's main slate with my man, Willie Walls and the great Swame Odell Blocker. Willie Walls, before we even get to DFS, are you doing any best balls? Are you in any underdogs? Do you have any teams left to make $3 million? Did you even do any of those this year?
I only did two of them, and one of them is in there. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But you got to get a lot of things to go right there. But I think I got a pretty good squad, though. So we'll see. I just got one.
Are you in any underdogs?
I got kicked in my best balls.
You got kicked. So, Willie, you have one? I have two.
Yeah, well, I only played two.
That's pretty good. 1 out of 2 is pretty good.
Yeah, I only played two, and I got one in the final. So I played two.
So I never played before. I played because it was like a free game or something. I arguably have the worst best ball team ever. And if I don't know how many players you get, but I know if 95% of mine are injured.
Well, that's the problem with best ball. You're literally lighting money on fire. If somebody gets injured, you're lighting money on fire. And if people are healthy, then you got a shot, and maybe you're my rich friend. Maybe if Willie wins $3 million, Swami, do you think you'll see any of that $3 million?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's very generous.
He knows that I have a standing thing with him. Yeah.
This isn't a guess for me. this is proven.
Well, I appreciate that. That's good to know. That's a good friend. That's a good friend, right? He's hooking you up.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it, guys. All right, let's just talk about some of these early games, because these early games, in the word of an immortal person, he said, they stink. Stink. All right. There's one good one, I think. Tampa and Green Bay. You've got Tampa's defense hasn't stopped anybody. Jordan Love might be in play. Romeo Doubs might be in play. Jayden Reed might be in play. On the other side, Mike Evans did nothing last week. Maybe this is a Mike Evans week. Maybe this is a Rachaad White week. Willie, do you like any of these pieces, or do you think you're going to let other people play them?
Well, the two of my favorite pieces will be Rachaad White and Jayden Reed, the receiver for Green Bay for 4,900. That's one of my two. The reason I won't go with Jordan Love, because without Justin Watson, they don't have that person that can stretch the field. So it's a little different. You saw him struggling with the Giants last week. He struggled, but I mean, my two favorite plays in this game would be Reed and listen, I'm gonna tell you, man, Rachaad White is balling. He is balling out, and you can run on Green Bay. So those would be my two favorite plays in this game. If I had to play those two players.
If you have 20 lineups, Willie, how many will Reed be in for you?
He will be in about 6 or 7. Yeah, I'm not gonna lock him in, but he'll be in the 6 or 7.
Swami, you like this game as much as Willie does? Do you like any pieces in this game? I see myself like, I don't hate them, I don't love them. I could use them. I could avoid them.
Doc, I don't think I'm mad at what Willie was saying. Obviously, White has been playing well, so you like him. Evans his price is creeping up, and last week was pretty disappointing. I think you can maybe run on Tampa Bay and get something from them, but I don't know if Jones or Dillon is healthy enough. And when there's some uncertainty there, you just want to stay away. It's the same thing with the Packers receivers. They seem like they're taking on some injuries right now as well. And for that reason, you start to want to stay away from Love. And so I think I would probably just stick with White, and I will let y'all have the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, I see what Willie's saying about Reed. I see Doubs as well, maybe Tucker Kraft, but I just think there are better pieces elsewhere. All right, let's move to another game where I think there's a big zero that I'm not playing anybody. Atlanta's playing Carolina. 2 comments. 1, the game's at a 34 spot. Well, actually 3 comments. 2, spoke to my friend who lives in Charlotte, said it's supposed to rain all weekend. 3, Carolina doesn't run that many plays. So when you play against Carolina, you're only looking at like 50 plays. So, Swami, I'm not playing one person in this game, not one person. Maybe Carolina's defense, but I worry about that because they won't have that many plays. What's your thoughts?
Doctor, one thing I'm sure about is I won't be playing Carolina's defense. And the number one reason why you can't play Carolina's defense is because you can't trust Carolina's offense. They'll likely have them backed up. They'll likely have them in short field type situations because of turnovers. Or, even worse, they'll have a bunch of just, 3 and outs, quick possessions, and have the defense out there all day long, and then eventually they'll just wear out. So you were saying, if there's anything I'm remotely interested in, just remotely, you got to be a little bit encouraged by what you've seen from London, even though I don't necessarily like him or his matchup this week. And if I had to pick a play, I'm talking about will Willie shoe up to my nose, I'm taking Mr. Robinson from Atlanta. Maybe the Atlanta defense will.
Willie, I'm not taking Mr. Robinson. I'm not paying up for that, not in that stinky game that's going to be wet. Convince me I'm wrong, or is there anybody else that you'll take?
Only one I would be interested in is Mr. Robinson, because what Carolina does, and they don't care. They just take the air out the ball like they're protecting their players. So no, thank you. I'll pass. And this Carolina's defense is a little better than what Atlanta faced last week. So no, thank you.
J.C. Horn is going to cover Drake London. Drake London is not doing what he did last week. I can count on that. All right,
these things happen in inclement weather. Remember that.
Okay, all right. Swami gave me that look. He gave me that look that maybe he knows something I don't.
Those things.
All right,
but he ain't playing them though.
Yeah, he ain't playing. Giants are going on the road to New Orleans. Tommy DeVito looks better than Daniel Jones. Wan'Dale Robinson is not going to cost you anything. You got Kamara. Olave maybe plays. I don't know how I feel about him, guys. I mean, Willie, this game's at 39. Could it go higher? Will you play anybody in it?
No, thank you.
All right. Thanks for the good analysis. No, I'm with you. I agree. Swami, you like anybody in this game?
Got 3 words for you, Doc. Butt crack nasty. It is no way you could play anybody in this game. Here's the reasons why. First, Mr. DeVito is all smoke and mirrors at this point. Is he making plays? Yes. Are they winning games? Yes. But the fact that he is finding ways to stumble out of 5 and 6 sacks a game, I don't like his chances down in New Orleans. In fact, I would even dare to say that the New Orleans defense is in play. And I think Mr. Kamara is a man of interest even at his price.
All right. I agree with all those points. I just don't know if I even want to touch this game. Okay. Houston against Tennessee. I think there's some interest here, mild interest. I'm just going to give you some players, okay? Derrick Henry.
Yes.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes.
Chico Conco at $2,900, who's gotten like 5 targets in the last 4 or 5 games. Noah Brown. Bobby Trees. Swami, are there any guys there that you could see yourself putting into the great Swami lineup?
In theory, if those guys were healthy, Collins and maybe, and just maybe Singletary, I could have some interest in one of them. But I think without Stroud having his weapons, it just seems like it impacts that offense, tremendously. And I don't know if I want to be standing there holding that bag of expensive nothing. I'll let Walls have it. But on the other side, I think what you saw, that connection with him and Hopkins is starting to pick up. And I think King Henry is benefiting from it as well. So I think I like the Tennessee side of it.
Swami, you have 20 lineups. How many will have a Henry or have a Hopkins player in it?
If I had 20, I would dare to say I would have one of them in all 20.
Say that again?
I would have one of them in all 20.
Really? Henry or Hopkins in all 20 lineups?
And the reason why, Doc, I don't like a lot of plays on the slate in general. I think Henry is one that you can count on this time of year to get, it looks like, his 18 or 20 touches. And if Hopkins is going to they're going to keep finding him for big plays and looking for him in the red zone, then I think he's viable. So when we look at it, there's not many games that we like on the early slate. We talked about White. And this is the only other game that I think we'll find pieces in that we really like, and then we're on the 4 o'clock.
Willie, assuming you were playing a full slate, not the morning, not the early games or the late games, does Henry or Hopkins do they make your lineup?
Well, listen, I think Swame been sniffing on some glue, so please forgive him for his comments that he just made. Fans, he definitely been sniffing on something. I don't know what it is, or he been having a little Hennessy or something's going on in the Swame household. But anyway, let me give you word of reason. I don't mind Hopkins. I don't mind the quarterback because he does well. They play a lot of cover 3 and the cover 6. So that's what his quarterback, he really does well against that. So Hopkins would be a guy of interest to me. Henry just basically got the short field on the 2 touchdowns that he had. No thank you on Mr. Henry. No thank you on that. But if I had an interest, I have an interest in the quarterback, and I have an interest in Hopkins. Because I think, that if I had to have an interest in it, but they will be in probably, if I had 20 lineups, they might be in 3 or 4 lineups. And that's it.
All right. I'll see that. All right. So real quick, let's just help Chris Curving out here. He asks Matthew Stafford at home or Jared Goff at home. Real quick, I'm saying Matthew Stafford, guys. Do we agree?
Stafford is not even close.
Not even close. Stafford all the way. All right, let's help him out one more time here. Do we like any of these plays here? I like Trey McBride over Dalton Kincaid. Do we agree?
Yes. McBride for sure.
All right. Do we like Taysom Hill, Dalton Schultz, or Pitts? I kind of like Taysom Hill.
I think that all. I think I'll take Pitts out of that group, and I'm leaning more towards Kincaid. I think it will be more points from Buffalo, which means more chances than McBride. I don't trust him against the 49ers.
No, not with Knox in there. No, thank you. I would take McBride. McBride. He looks at McBride. McBride has that. I would not touch Kincaid. Because you got Knox in there. It's a whole different ball game now when Knox is there. He's not getting as many opportunities as you got.
I'll acquiesce to that.
I agree with that 100%. All right, let's keep moving forward, guys. Let's talk about Chicago, Cleveland. This game's coming up. I'm getting a lot of people sending me, tweets. Flacco, Fields, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I trust Flacco this week. I don't know if I trust Elijah Moore. I don't know if I trust Njoku. I know Willie's talked in the past about the Bears defense being better than we think it is. This game feels to me like I don't trust Fields. I don't trust DJ Moore. I have a lack of trust in this game, guys. A lack of trust. What do you think, Willie?
I think that 2 things could be interesting in this game. You remember Cleveland play a lot of man-to-man. And when you play a lot of man-to-man, that's not good. That is great for Fields because that means, when he breaks that pocket, he could run for 40 or 50 yards. And also, what does DJ Moore do? He kills man-to-man. You follow what I'm saying? So I will have a lineup or 2 where I will have Fields and DJ Moore, because Moore kills man-to-man. And if they play man-to-man against Moore, it's been proven that DJ Moore could win that matchup. So, and also, like I said, when you play man-to-man, that leaves it wide open for Fields. So, I'm going to say that. This is not going to be a core, okay? Because I think Chicago's defense, listen, they have been balling. If people can't see what they've been doing lately, and Flacco, he's been playing well, but this Chicago's defense is not, they have been coming on. So I don't really have interest. The only one that you could say with, 14 targets, that was a lot of targets that Cooper got, the last game, from Flacco, maybe, but I'm just telling you, this is more of a no, but I might, out of the 20 lineups, I might have 2 lineups where I have Fields and Moore together.
Swami, I hear what Willie's saying. I hear it, but I worry that I don't want to miss out on Stafford. I don't want to miss out on Dak. I don't want to miss out on Purdy. I get Fields. But would you play Fields or Moore over the other guys?
Doc, not just no, but hell no. So clearly, I'm not the only one who's got the holiday eggnog going. Mm-hmm. Old Walls and old Tyrone.
I said 2 of 20. 2 of 20.
Not interrupt.
2 of 20 shows me 3. What's up with that?
I did not interrupt you, sir. You and Tyrone have clearly started sipping the eggnog a little early over there. not just Doc, not in one lineup. I don't care what scenario he just tried to come up with. What they do, it's no.
I agree. I don't see the game exploding. This game doesn't have explosion. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but give me those games in the afternoon. I see where we look, Willie. If I'm playing a single entry, am I really playing Fields and Moore?
No.
Listen,
I say 220.
a third.
Not a core. My core is in the 4 o'clock games. That's what my cores are.
Right, for sure. All right, let's get to the last 1 o'clock. 2 more 1 o'clock games, and they both stink. All right, Jets in Miami. Let's get to here's a quick question about Miami for a second, and maybe this will answer Chris's other question. Do we think Achane plays? He's questionable. He's dealing with a toe issue. Mostert's 100%. I don't really like Achane this week. So in DFS, do we like Achane? And then on top of that, do you like anything in this game, Swame? I mean, I could see me playing Garrett Wilson. I could see me playing Mostert. After that, I don't think I'm playing any Tyreek, not at $9,900. That's insanity. I'm not playing Tua. I just don't see anything I like in this game, Swame.
Doc, I agree. I think you called out the only 2 pieces being, some interest in Wilson and maybe some interest in Mostert based on what he did. But honestly, I don't think I love any of those pieces. If anything, I'd be more interested in defense. I like the Jets defense a lot this week at that price. I think the Miami offense has been proven to be slowed down and almost stopped when they don't have Mr. Hill in there at 100%. And so there's no way I could play them with any confidence this week.
Willie, I want to get behind Tyreek, but at 9, I think I said this with Alicia the other night. If they wanted us to play a little bit of Tyreek, they should have made him 8,800 or 9,000. Who's paying all that money for him, Willie? Not me.
I mean, even if Tyreek, I remember he had the 10 catches the last game against him. I mean, he didn't go off. He's not going off against the Jets. The Jets got a good defense. I mean, I'm going to have the Jets will probably be my most rostered defense in DFS. At that price point where they are. So I don't have interest on either side, to be honest with you.
You're running with the Jets at 2,500.
I like the Jets. They probably be in out of 20 lineups, they will probably be in 12 or 13 or 14 lineups in my lineups.
Swami, you agree with that one?
I might even go a little bit more. I think I'll be somewhere around 17, 18 out of 20.
You think Tua makes a lot of bad mistakes?
I just think the Jets defense at that price is a great value. I think the last time they played, they forced a couple of turnovers and even scored a defensive touchdown. I think that if Tyreek, and that's with a healthy Tyreek Hill, and in a backfield that I think that was in a little bit better shape. And right now, the offense looked almost horrible last week when Tyreek Hill wasn't in there.
It did.
And I don't think he's healthy. I'm almost afraid that I have to play him this season long, and I don't like the matchup. So I like the Jets value. It's a great price. It's going to allow me to do everything I need to. And there's no other defenses that's just blowing you away unless you start getting them around $4,000.
I do like Garrett Wilson a lot. I think he's a smart play. However, I think he may be slightly overowned, and I may avoid that. All right, let's talk about the final 1 o'clock game, Kansas City against New England. I'm going to give you one crazy play in this game. You know I love me a good revenge narrative. Can Juju Smith-Schuster be a cheap guy, Willie, that we could throw in? Can he? Don't look at me like that.
I didn't even know you was missing his name out of your mouth. Oh, my God. I mean, I'm
going to need a cheap receiver. I'm going to need a cheap receiver in order to put all these other guys I want in. And I don't think I want Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm going to need a dude who's under $4,000.
I got one for you. You don't need to go from this game. I got him with a quarterback that's going to be one of my balls to the walls call.
Wait a second. Can I guess this player? Demarcus Robinson.
Absolutely.
Do I know my friend Willie Walls by now? All right, Swami. Rasheed Wright.
S milk. He is reeking right now. Please, Doc, ask your question. Huge.
Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, anybody, Jerick McKinnon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, because Edwards-Helaire did nothing last week. We saw McKinnon touchdown. Are you playing Rice? Are you playing any of these guys? What do you think?
Short answer, no. Kansas City will win. I don't like the game. I think they'll likely, score a couple of touchdowns. I don't like the game. I don't like the value. It'll probably be somebody like Noah Gray or Valdez Scanlon. You don't know where those couple of touchdowns in this game will go. I just don't think New England's going to put up enough of a fight for this to have the kind of back and forth we're looking for.
It might not have the back and forth, but I think in a lineup or two, Zeke is not a bad play at that price point and the usage that he gets out of that offense. At 5,800, you could run a skill.
But I don't like him running again.
Yeah, I know, I get it, but if you got somebody that first of all is getting 8 or 9 catches, that's automatically going to put you. This guy is a dumper. He dumps it down. Zeke can catch the ball, and so I'm just saying at 5,800. I mean, Zeke's
a good play. Zeke's a good play this week. I mean, I don't know if I'm circling him on my rosters, but he's in play. I mean, he's certainly making my list.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, what I'm saying is if you need something and he can make a lineup work, that's not a bad play because that's at his worst, I think his low thing is 10 points. If it's not having a good game, but if he gets in a touchdown, he gets in the end zone, he gets 5 or 6 catches, run for 50-something yards. I mean, at that price point,
But Willie, there's a stat here that worried me. I want to find it for you. Do you know how many rushing touchdowns the Chiefs have let up this year?
I don't think he knows.
Not many.
5.
Yeah.
5.
Listen,
not that in 14 weeks. That's us.
You saw what happened last week. Got daggone, what's the name? Caught 2 touchdowns on 3 balls. And he ain't gonna do that. Henry ain't gonna be doing that too often, But one play I will stay away completely from is Kelce. I would not have Kelce because New England has roughed up every tight end they played this year. You don't do nothing on New England.
Now, JS, by the way, Juju's now with the Patriots, and I just think that he's going to have a game. Look, this is garbage time. Patriots are losing this game. Chiefs are winning. I don't like this as a high score. Chris Curving asked about Rashee Rice. I'm very skeptical. I know he had more routes this week, but I'm not paying for him. All right, let's take a look at the final 3 games and the 3 most important games, I think, by far on this slate. Washington against the Rams. I can't imagine how this game doesn't explode. I can't imagine. I like Stafford. I like Howell. I like Kyron Williams. I can find some love for Antonio Gibson. I love Puka. I like Kupp. I can find McLaurin, Samuel, Logan Thomas, Willie. Stop me here, dude. I'm loving this game.
I mean, my 2 favorite Rams would be, the running back Kyrie Williams and Puka, because Puka. The great thing about this is what have they done? They have changed ever since they got rid of that coordinator. They used to play a lot of man to man. Now they play in zone. They play 96% zone. What does Puka does? He eats zone up. That is what he works on. So I'm telling you, this is a Puka game. Everybody's talking about Kupp. After that game that they had last week, Kupp is in play. You could play him. But my guy for that receiver that I will have, that I like a lot, is Puka. And I'm telling you, this DeMarcus Robinson, because what is his name? Tutwell, what's his name?
Tutwell's out.
Yeah, Tutu. Listen, he likes him. He had 10 targets the last game, and you're going against the Commanders defense. So I'm not saying he's in play. He is definitely in play in this game.
Willie, would you play? I mean, the Commanders are not bad against the run. Is Kyron Williams a good start, or do you think that you could 7,500 is a lot, or do you think he just gets the bulk and you don't want to not have him?
Listen, what he did, first of all, he proved his worth the way he played against the Ravens. because the Ravens got a good defense. You know what I mean? The Ravens got a good defense. And Washington, without those guys in the middle, they are nothing like the Ravens. So he earned my respect, because he is going to get the touches. So I'm not saying I understand what you're saying, but I like him. I like him. You could go either receivers or go, but this dude, he touches the ball a lot. He gets a lot of share. I mean, it's hard to get away from. I mean, when somebody's getting 90, he's a bell cow going against the Commanders. So that's what I'm saying. You got somebody's going to get the ball 22, 23 times. It's hard. And he's going to be by that goal line. It's hard not to, to play this dude. I get you because I like some other running backs in this other game. I like both running backs in the game. So I'm just telling you, but this dude is definitely in play. And I'm telling you, I'm just saying you could play anybody for. I like Gibson more on this one. Man, if for some reason for the Commanders, man, my goodness, I don't know who's gonna get the. They do some funky stuff, man.
Well, they said Rodriguez was going to play. They said Chris Rodriguez was going to play.
McLaurin gets wasted. I mean, you put McLaurin on another team, I guarantee you this rascal would do something. This dude could play. I don't know what, man.
All right, Swame, let me ask a question here, Swame. I have two big questions for you. One, do I have to play this game with Matthew Stafford or can I play with Sam Howell instead? Two, who's the bring back? Willie mentioned McLaurin. Is it McLaurin? Is it Dotson? Is it Samuel? Is it Logan Thomas? Who's my bring back?
Doc, I think it's a great question. I heard you on First Look talking about this as well. You mentioned that somebody was talking about, hey, how and kind of coming back that way. I don't think that's a bad play, but I like Stafford a lot this week. I just think he's in a smash spot, and he's got, his entire team is coming with him. You literally can probably play everybody except maybe the tight end position for the Rams. So I think coming back, everybody's going to be looking at Samuel. I agree with Walls. There's something about Scary Terry that's a little bit sneaky. Have you seen even last week in Baltimore game, they gave up a bunch of deep balls to like Odell Beckham and just, the Ravens were able to even have a lot of success throwing it all over the place. I think Howell will be able to have some of that success as well. So again, I'm not mad at either way. But Doc, I do want to say I don't think this is the game. You said these three games are the only ones that matter. I think these games are the games that we think are going to explode. But I think finding that piece or two in those early games is going to be important to maybe taking this thing down. But I like this game a lot. I think this game is going to be where we get, if you get this one right, if we hit this one, I think that will probably take down the tournament.
I think so too. I think nailing this game exactly will be critical. And I think, honestly, the key to this slate is guessing the Commanders' receiver. Whether it's Gibson, McLaurin, Dotson, Samuel, Logan Thomas, Rodriguez, I don't know who. Guessing this guy will be the difference. Now, go ahead.
Like, it's not Logan, though. For some, he just, from an explosive standpoint, he would have to get like 8 to 10 targets. But I think just Dotson could be in a good spot. Everybody's looking at Samuel, and for good reason. But I think one of those other two guys, if you can hit that with, like you said, because I like Kupp more than I do Nakua. Not mad at Nakua. I heard what Wall said. I just think they're going to have all kinds of trouble with Kupp and Williams.
All right, let's get to this next game, which you can't tell me I don't like it. San Francisco against Arizona. And I wonder myself here. For Arizona, I'm literally just going to play one guy. I'm going to play Trey McBride. I'm not even going to listen to anything else. Now, do you play Purdy? If you play Purdy, do you play him over who? Do you play McCaffrey and pay up for him? If you have McCaffrey, it's hard to get Kyron Williams and McCaffrey into a lineup. 3, do you go back to Debo and back to Ayuk, or do you bring in George Kittle? Willie, what do I do with this game?
I mean, first of all, I wouldn't play George Kittle in one lineup. The one thing Arizona does well is the tight end. They play well against the tight end. Now, everybody else, they stink. Okay, so, I mean, see, for me, Debo is in another smash spot. For what they do, for the kind of defense they play, Debo kills this thing. But now his price has risen. You know what I mean? It's up there. McCaffrey, as we saw last week, you got viable backs in the Buffalo game, in the Dallas game that are less evasive. Like I said, McCaffrey is a smash spot. I agree, but I think 7,500. I get better value of Kyron Williams than I do McCaffrey, especially if they smash this team. And then McCaffrey sipping Gatorade in the third quarter. You know what I mean? So I just think that, great matchups, but their price points is very expensive. So therefore, I'm not going to have a lot of players in this game because of that, because I could get better value in the other games. But McCaffrey's a great play, but it's his price. That 9,300 is a lot. Debo's what? What is he? 7? What is Debo's price now?
Debo is
7.
What's that?
77.
77. Yeah.
Yeah. That's and I don't see the back and forth in this game. You know what I mean? I see no back and forth. I just see somebody getting that back beat out. That's all I see in this one. So, I don't, San Francisco.
But Willie, let me ask you this, and we'll get to you in a second, Swame. There are very few guys on any slate that can go nuclear. Christian McCaffrey can go nuclear. And when he puts up the 40, because you don't have his 4 touchdowns, you lose. It's like not having Giannis in basketball when he puts up 64 points. Are you willing to take that risk?
Yeah, I might have McCaffrey in 2 lineups, but he's not going to be a core for me this week, because I'm trying to take the tournament down. I remember that 9,300 is a lot, and I agree he could give you 40. But what happened last week? He wasn't in that winning lineup last week. People.
Swami, with that thinking that Willie's giving you, does that make you want to play McCaffrey more?
Doc, not just no, but hell no. First of all, the results are in. And it says let me see. Willie Walls had his lie detector, and he said that the Arizona Cardinals are good against the tight end position. You were asked that question and you responded yes, and the lie detector determined that was a lie. They're 26th against the tight end position. They're damn near horrible. You know who is good against the tight end position? The San Francisco 49ers. They're ranked 2nd against the tight end position. Why you guys fell in love with Trey McBride and all of a sudden matchups don't matter? I don't know. Even advice to be given early in the show. The fact is, San Francisco don't give anything up to the tight end. Not Trey McBride or any of the tight ends that have actual names in the league, right? He's had a couple of good games again with great matchups, and all of a sudden, he has to be in your lineup. Even when the matchup.
Who said he was in nobody's lineup? Nobody talk about McBride, sir.
Look, Trey McBride, the first time they played, went 1 catch for 5 yards. Do you know why? Because Zach Ertz had 6 catches for 53 yards.
And how many points did they score?
16.
Yeah, they lost 35-16. They weren't. It wasn't competitive. They basically got the floor wiped with them, and they were out of there early.
Right, and McCaffrey had 3 touchdowns, which goes back to JS's question. Maybe McCaffrey is important, and what you need to do is find the cheap guy to pair with McCaffrey, because if McCaffrey puts up 103 touchdowns, it's over. It's over.
But Doc, I mentioned this last week. It's just tough to get him into a lineup at that price. And you can try. What's going to happen is you're going to be looking to play some Willie says guy who's going to give you 4 and 6 and 8. And when McCaffrey come in at between 19 and 25, if he don't get you 50, then it's just not going to happen. And
I can give you a lineup. Can I give you a lineup for a second? I just threw one into an optimizer. Okay. Give me, and you both like the Jets defense. True.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to get rid of one guy. Ready? I can go Stafford, Zeke and McCaffrey, Jaden Reed, Kyron Williams, Rashee Rice, the Jets D. I can get a Okonkwo, and I have 5,000 for another receiver. I can get maybe Dotson or Samuel in there. Is that a terrible team?
Doc, I might not be able to to put together the winning lineup every week, but I know when I don't hear one that sounds like it, and that doesn't sound like it. That doesn't sound like that.
When you went with McCaffrey, say for instance, you go Kyrie Williams in that one, or say for instance you go Pollard, say for instance you go Cook, who's been using. I mean, you could get, your receiver can go from that $5,000 receiver to Nuka. It could go to Nuka.
Okay, so let's take out Kyron and let's take out Samuel. I have no problem with that. You want to put in Pollard?
No. What I'm saying is, if you take McCaffrey out,
right.
Okay, yeah. Right. See, taking McCaffrey out, can give you can. It's a big difference from going from Samuel to Cooper Kupp or Puka. That's a big difference.
And Doc, I always say it's not the best 1 or 2 players that's going to win a tournament. It's going to be the best 8. And you got to find the 8 guys who can have ceiling games, not really just 3. And then, because we hoping now on too many guys. If they were a part of your stack or your primary stack, then I think you have a better shot. But it's not even a stack. It's like 3 random guys.
But last week, the team that took down the mill had Purdy, Debo, and Ayuk.
Yeah, Doc.
Yeah, but they didn't have McCaffrey.
Yeah, they studs, right?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, do you think that you're going to need to have multiple 49ers to win $1 million this week?
Remember,
their prices up there now.
Yeah, that price. Purdy was at a bargain. Debo been at a bargain for a couple of weeks. Now their prices are probably, it's caught up with everything where they at. So I don't know if it's the same, calculation.
And I know Debo's been getting off, but he can have a game where he can just get like 16, 15. Right. I'm just saying. So he's been running hot. That hotness is going to run out sometime.
Or swing to George. It's time for it to swing a little bit, or maybe even to somebody else in the offense.
All right. So I still think that, look, and I'm with you. I think that, let me ask you one other thing, Willie. Let me get back to the other game here for a second. Can I go Stafford, Kupp, Puka and forget Williams?
I mean, you can. I mean, you could do that. But I just think that dude, Williams he can mess up some. He can mess up. He can mess up some plans. See, my thing is, I might go 3, where not Cooper, where I will play. See, like I said, I'm gonna play Puka over Cooper Kupp. Most people gonna go to Cooper. He had the game last time. He had a great game. I just think that the matchup is more on Puka's side this time. So I'm just saying, I like to have Kyrie. I like the running back, one of the receivers, or possibly 2 receivers. But if I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go low to a Robinson. So I can get some other stuff in there.
You came back with Sam Howell and McLaurin or one of his guys, it would look closer to a full stack. But I'm not mad at something like that. Also, Doc, if you remember when they played in week 4, Ayuk had 148 yards, and that was without Debo. So imagine what he could do when he isn't getting all of the coverage, right? When they got to start to pay attention to Debo, they have to pay more attention to McCaffrey. I think Ayuk becomes a man of interest for that reason as well.
All right, let's get to this last game, guys. Dallas and Buffalo. I can't imagine how this game is not a high-scoring game. I can't. Now, last week, Swame, you told us that you didn't think that the Chiefs game was going to be high-scoring. But Dallas's offense is way better than the Chiefs' offense. I don't care what anybody tells you. Way better. There's nobody in the city of Buffalo who can cover CD Lamb. Nobody. Okay? And the entire city. So I asked this question. I'm with Willie. I like James Cook, but I love Tony Pollard this week. I love me some Tony Pollard this week. Do we like a Dak, Pollard, Lamb, Diggs little thing, Ferguson going on here? Would you want to stack this game, Swami? Is this game better than the Washington Rams? What do you think?
Hear me good. Here's the one play I'm sure I don't like. So I think that's just a great place to start. I'm sure I do not like James Cook. I want to repeat that. For anybody, I'm sure I do not like James Cook. I think I'm going to say it one more time so Tyrone and Willie can each hear it once. I do not like James Cook. Now, what Cook I might be interested in this game is Mr. Brandon Cook. Why am I interested? Because I think the Cowboys offense, to your point, Doc, I think they are formidable. I think they are playing well. I'm not sure if I'm with you with Pollard, but because I like the entire offense, I can see you bringing along Mr. Pollard. So I think CD is a man of interest. I don't necessarily like his price. I think Dak is playing well enough where they'll be able to kind of score and put up some points. I don't know if this game will shoot out. This still feels like a good scrap, which could include points, but will it hit their value based on prices? If you got this game scoring points, then you got to have Mr. Stephon Diggs in there. And I'm not mad if you went Dak and Cooks or Dak and CeeDee Lamb, but I'm not interested in the other pieces as much.
Willie, he's calling you out on James Cook. He forgot Jake Ferguson, who I like a lot this week. I think he's pretty solid.
I like Ferguson. I like Ferguson more in this game than I do Lamb. For the type of defense that Buffalo plays. I like Ferguson. I think it would be more of a Cook, the other receiver Cook, and more of a Ferguson game. I think Diggs isn't playing this game for the kind of defense that they play. I like Diggs, but I disagree with Cook. When they changed this coordinator, they're making a concerted. Dallas plays a lot of man-to-man defense, and the one thing that they've done is they have made a concerted effort to give more of the. He don't have run as many plays, but when they do the plays, they make plays for Cook, and Cook is a great receiver. He missed out on a walk-in touchdown just the other game against Philadelphia. Cook is getting that ball, especially what the thing that I like more about Cook now, they're giving the ball more at the inside the 10-yard line than they did before. You notice that Cook is in the game now. He's a total different player, and I think he's definitely a man of interest in this game. For me, I think you could play Pollard and Cook. To be honest with you, in this game, I think you can play them both. I think you can play both receivers.
There's still a little bit of defense being played in this game, gentlemen.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this. I want to see Dallas. I understand what happened with Philadelphia. On the road, they're a different team on the road. Okay, I want to see them on the road going against Buffalo. I think this is going to be a good game. I think this game can shoot out. But like I said, but for me, the game that's going, that you're going to get most of your value is going to be in that Rams game, right here. But I'm just saying, but this is a good game. I think, I think I'm gonna take parts in this game. I'm not gonna have a lot of Dak. I'm not because of the price points. I get my other prices from the quarterback, but just take the pieces from this game. But I think this game has a lot of value, a lot of ways it can go.
Quick question for you guys. Most of the time quarterbacks don't get steamed. If they get steamed, maybe they get up to 10, 12%. Matthew Stafford could be close to 20% on the short slate. When I say short, it's 10 games. Do you want a 20% rostered Matthew Stafford?
Against the Commanders, yes.
Do you want a 16% Sam Howell?
Against the Rams, maybe.
I'm not going to play too much Howell.
Dak Prescott may be 5% owned or less. Josh Allen's going to be 15% owned, but I think Dak may be the guy who isn't.
I think Dak's going to be higher than that.
I'm not big on ownership. That's Willie's game.
But Dak's been white hot. Dak has been white hot. He's been white hot, man.
I'm big on matchups and who's playing well. I can't do the ownership thing.
All right. AD asks thoughts on Noah Brown with Nico out. I love Noah Brown this week. Jay asks about Saturday slate. Is there a defense you like in Saturday slate, guys? Vikings, Bengals, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, Detroit, and Denver.
Probably Indianapolis.
Probably Indianapolis. I like Minnesota defense, and I think Denver's defense is playing decent as well.
I hate Mitch Trubisky like the plague. So
I think Indianapolis defense is definitely in play.
Yeah, that probably is.
All right. Do you know this guy?
What is he saying?
I don't know. He's just saying hi to you. All right. He was calling you sir. All right. Let me ask you this now. $100, Swami, in your pocket. You decide to burn it at DraftKings, and you got to put it on a single stack. Who is your stack?
My stack will be Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Kyron Williams. But that's too easy, Doc. You're never going to get that from me. Right? But
you just gave it to us.
That's my official response.
You just gave
What's
it
the
to him.
unofficial one? What's the unofficial?
Thank you, Doc. Now let me give you something a little bit more clandestine. Let's bring in the big guns. All right, Doc. So I'm thinking this week, if you're looking for a little bit more of a darker horse, I think in a bounce back, because you mentioned him. I don't love it, but I think it's interesting. Maybe a White Mayfield Evans. Just maybe.
I like Evans. I don't know if I like Mayfield in the cold. Baker Mayfield in Green Bay?
Gotta like White.
I like White.
Right.
I do. All right, Willie, you got $100. Burn it in your pocket. You decide to go to DraftKings and put it on who?
I like and see, because he don't like this. First of all, it will be Stafford, it will be Kyron Williams, and it will be Puka. Okay, but I'm not going to do that officially. Who do I sound like? I will go something else.
You said
out of the side of his neck. So therefore, I'm going to go against what he said. I think the stack that I like in both of these games, I think it will be something cool. I like Cook, I like Pollard, and I like Ferguson.
What kind of stack?
I said the two backs and the tight end. I told you I don't like Lamb as much. I don't like Lamb as much. I'm just saying the two backs and the tight end.
You put $100 on those two backs and that tight end. He better be giving you $99.
All right, listen. I say what I'm saying is, you know what my favorite stack is, but I'm telling you that the two backs and that tight end can do something in that game. I like both backs.
Oh, Doc.
I like both backs.
Please allow me to give a disclaimer here, Doc. Friends, it's coming directly from our fans. And this is to the NFL. Dear NFL, all of the listeners here, we got many. Which camera I'm on? Is it camera 2 or camera 3? I said, this thing that you guys got going on with the NFL referees and officials. We understand that this game is fast-paced and it's tough to call. Nobody's expecting the referees to be perfect. I think what we are expecting is for you guys to have a little bit of accountability when they don't make great calls. The reason that we have replay in place is so that you all can have an opportunity and so that the teams and the fans can have an opportunity for us to get it right. Replay isn't meant for you to go into the hood and try to reaffirm what you called on the field. That's not the point. The point is to try to get it right based on the rules of the game, what was called on the field, or a call that was missed on the field. So this thing that you all do, here's the ask, NFL. When you guys go underneath of the booth or you go to replay, you can never come out and go, we're going to go with what we called on the field. Here's the reason why. We want to lean towards, or we want to use the replay system. So we don't want you
get to your point, please?
This is the point, sir.
Hold on
we want you guys to go. So I'm right at the point. Let me land the plane, please. You can do the sleep.
Man, the plane, listen, we crashed. We have crashed. God damn.
So the point is, when you go to replay, you can't just come out and go, we got to go with the call as it was called on the field, because then you're saying that if you go to a booth review, you'll just lean towards the call on the field.
Swame, I have one question for you. What is your point?
Doc, we're getting robbed of fantasy points. We're getting robbed of big games. We're getting robbed of wins. This matters. So why?
Okay, that's a good point.
That's because his lineups were so far back last week, he would sleep with them, him and Tyrone. But for those of us who are right there in the competition, we're tired of these doggone referees costing folks games with these blown calls. It's crap.
All right, so let me say two things. One, AD asks, is he crazy to play Noah Brown over Drake London? No, you should play Noah Brown over Drake London. I will give you my stack, and this is not a stack that you see coming. You don't see this one, but I'm going to throw it out there. Matthew Stafford, Kyron Williams, and yes, I will be playing McCaffrey because I will be fading Debo and I will be fading Ayuk and trying to get it from the game that way.
Okay. But me personally, I don't know if Noah Brown's healthy. I don't like him as a number one receiver. So if Miko isn't healthy, if he's the person out there going as the number one.
Better than Drake London in a swamp against Carolina.
Yeah, you got a point, but that's if I had to, I still
Desmond Ridder on the road in the rain, please.
Listen,
Hide the wife and
don't
children.
like that game. We don't like that game, period.
All right. Swami says. What you
Swami says, Scary Terry. I mentioned Scary Terry before. He's let me down quite a few times, but this guy's due. If he don't do it here, I want to apologize, one, in advance, and two, I want to say I won't mention the rest of the season. But Scary Terry's my guy this week.
All right. I was glad that you didn't say. I was glad you didn't say Jahan Dotson. All right, Willie. Who's the balls to the walls call from Willie Walls?
DeMarcus Robinson of the Rams. No 2-2, DeMarcus Robinson.
I will give you two. I will give you both my revenge narrative plays. One, the one that Swami likes, DeAndre Hopkins. You know he's going to ball. And two, Juju Smith-Schuster if you need a cheap play. But I do like McLaurin a lot, Swami. I think that's a good way to play that game. I think McLaurin could win somebody a lot of money this week if Sam Howell always feels allergic to throwing to him. But if this week he decides to, McLaurin could go 5 for 106 and a touchdown, which could be the difference.
Agreed. And Doc, let the record show that King Henry against Houston, 42 fantasy points, 43 fantasy points, 39 fantasy points, 38 fantasy points. His low game was 22. Put some respect on his name, Willie Walls. You and Tyrone.
No, I get it. But I'm just saying, King Henry has been more Queen Henry this year. I like the receiver better. I like
Henry a lot too. If I play two lineups, I'm going to get Henry in one of them. All right. For Doc, Willie, and Swami, we wish you much luck this week. Hope somebody takes down $1 million. Be well and take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.